let's put some respect on the guys who are actually going to play in 2023. And I couldn't help but notice, guys, there's some weird Heisman odds coming out of Vegas on this one, and everyone is just in a pretzel trying to figure out who will start for Georgia. FanDuel has Brock Vandagriff at plus 3,000 and Carson Beck at plus 4,000. Meanwhile, Caesars has Beck at plus 2,000 and Brock Vandagriff at plus 2,500. I'm not asking y'all to predict who's going to start at quarterback. I think a lot of people assume it's going to be Beck, but this gave me a little bit of pause, and I think it just gives Kirby Smart a little bit more fuel on the fire to say we got an open quarterback competition this spring.
Man, I don't know. Can you even bet on any of that?
If you do, I will also include a link to the gambling hotline in this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. I mean, plus 2,000 is ridiculously high odds. I feel like for Carson Beck. I mean, I think it should probably be more like plus 5,000 or whatever. I mean, that's ridiculous. But I mean, I don't know. I have a hard time believing they're that clueless about it. There's probably some sort of function there. Everything they do is planned out. They got more information probably than anybody on this podcast, on this show right now. I don't know. This is, I think, just to kind of create some. This is probably for this reason right here. Hey, let's throw this out there. Let people know what we. That way, people can be aware of what we do. They'll think we're dumbasses and we can take our money. And we're probably doing the devil's bidding here. We need some money out of this.
Well, and somebody said, they were like, these guys are in the business of making money. Why would they post these odds? Because if you bet these odds, you're probably going to lose.
You're still going to lose.
These are like, I mean, this is like the worst. These are some of the worst bets I could imagine making. I'm not saying either of these guys could not possibly win the job. And who knows at that point. But there are much surer things that you could do in the world than bet on either Brock Vandagriff or Carson Beck to win the Heisman, let alone we haven't even seen like the projection of starter. Although I guess FanDuel's saying Vandagriff's going to get the start.
You've got a better chance to going and putting all your money on one at the roulette table.
Yeah, no question. 100,000%. Give it to me and I'll double it. Now you got a better chance of that happening than this happening.
Gunnar Stockton is tied with Arch Manning, if you're curious about that. I'm just fascinated with the function of Vegas basically predicting which guy is going to start at Georgia, and two sports books can't agree on it. Everything we've heard, I mean, it seems like Brock Vandagriff, there's some chatter in the comments from Uncle Glenn that Brock has definitely gone to the portal if Carson Beck wins the job. But to me, I'm not saying you're wrong, Uncle Glenn. I can understand that perception. To me, it seems as if Brock's pretty locked in and competitive on this thing, but that's just my read on it.
I mean, I'm sure he's going to work really hard this spring and give it all he's got. And if he can do it, that's fine. But, and I've said this before, I'm going to say it a million times before we get there. You're not going to know anything at the end of the spring. I mean, we're going to still be assuming Carson Beck's the guy, but we're not going to know anything. I mean, I swear, if Georgia wants to try and hold on to all three of these quarterbacks, they're going to split the first team reps and they're going to do all that. This is a tough situation that Georgia's in right now.
But if one of them that isn't named Gunnar Stockton leaves, you feel like you've got a good idea. I mean, yeah, I feel like you would know then. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, once somebody leaves, you're dealing with it. You know, like you've got to kind of get on.
And again, I don't think Georgia's in a good situation, only with two scholarship quarterbacks. But
been there before.
Yep.
Been there with. I mean, you were basically there for most of the 2019 season because DeJuan Mathis was out.
Yep.
And yeah, but my point in all that was that they did it in 18. They didn't like doing it in 18, so they went and got an extra guy for 19 when Justin Fields left. When Fields left, they went out and got two guys.
Yeah, and I think that was more of an issue of convenience because they got DeJuan Mathis because Ohio State got Justin Fields.
To me, that was like, okay.
But then they went and sought out Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, because they needed somebody they knew they could feel like could play and knew what they were going to do and be a backup. Yeah. I don't think they signed DeJuan Mathis to be a backup. They signed Juan Mathis to be a developmental guy because he fell in their lap.
Sure. Yeah, I would completely agree with that stance based on what we knew about it from a recruiting standpoint at the time.
To me, that was like your starting running back in fantasy football goes down. Let's pick up every running back on the waiver wire that I've heard of and I think might score. Let's just pick up everybody and we'll let them.
Yeah.
I can tell you this. Jackson Muschamp is making these road trips next year with only 2 scholarship quarterbacks.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
But I knew people who thought that Dwan Mathis would be a better receiver in college than he would be a quarterback.
And that's the position he's playing now at Temple.
That's what I'm saying. He was a clearly developmental prospect for sure.
Guys, before we get to dog stocks, ZG is in the comments here. What are the thoughts on Kirby? Do y'all have any thoughts on him?
He is good.
Sweet video game.
He's got a lot of job security.
He is good at his job.
I don't think he's leaving for Alabama or the NFL.
What about the Colts? Yeah.
Don't think so.
Someone tried to troll me in my comments the other day with it was a very well done breaking news graphic. It was just a picture of Kirby Smart, and at the bottom of the picture it just said breaking.
Well, I'm pretty sure that was just a breaking news graphic that they stole from ESPN or something.
No, I think they made it. It looked pretty. I'll give that to them. They got some good Photoshop skills.